Welcome back to Smart Money, a perennial topic on everyone's mind. At least every person who has a corporate job is thinking about this. How do I retire early, right? So we are speaking to StockEdge about that. Vineet Patawari is with us and he's talking about the FIRE movement, which is financial independence and retire early. And before the break, he told us that in order to retire early, one needs to save a significant amount of their income, even if that means living frugally, spending less in your early years. But he said a typical recommendation is to save at least 50% of one's income. Now, Vineet, I want to bring you in on this because it's hard to save 50% of your income, right? Especially at a time like this when inflation is eating into your pocket. But when you talk about saving 50%, does that 50% go straight into investments? How do you decide?
See, I'll break the question in two parts, Sonia. One is how do we save 50%, right? So look at this from two perspectives. One is income. Either you increase your income or you reduce your expenditures. So if you are doing a corporate job, what needs to be done to increase the income, right? This is a question which is getting answered more and more at this point of time because see, the corporate structures are allowing you to work from home, remote works, etc. So people are doing freelancing, people are doing moonlighting, people are doing, sidekicks to have a second stream of income, right? And this will become a norm rather than an exception in times to come. So you add a stream of income, that's number one. Number two, you reduce your expenditures by, looking at alternatives. For example, owning a home versus rent. You will get 100 of resources to explain you that. Similarly, buying a car versus renting a car or using Ola, Uber, etc. So that will also make it cheaper. So your lifestyle is still maintained. Obviously, there are reasons why people own assets, but you can manage without them also. So you need to cut expenditures wherever possible. That's the second part. In terms of where does the money goes, the 50% which you save, obviously it has to go in high return generating assets. So the most preferred will be either direct stocks or mutual funds. Direct stocks, if you have knowledge, if you understand how to invest, then direct stocks are a good way to invest for a long term, right? The other alternative, which is equally good if you don't understand and don't have time for direct stock investing, is mutual funds, right? And within mutual funds also, I would suggest people to look at ETFs, exchange traded funds, or index funds, because there the money goes into replicating a Nifty 50 or a Sensex kind of index, which in long term has empirically proven to give around 13, 14, 15% return, which is a substantial return and can help you in growing your corpus overall and thus retiring early.
Okay, we have in fact a lot of queries coming through, so I'm glad you're talking about where one should invest. Also, I like that point you made about making sure you have no debt beyond the age of 40, right? Because that's important. I mean, that's a thumb of rule, I think, that you should, beyond the age of 40, all your assets should be liquid assets and better to have no debt on your books. So you can try to do that. All right, Bhuvan Shah has written to us where he says, I'm putting 1.5 lakhs every year in the NPS, in the National Pension Scheme, and in a PPF since the last 2 years on a lump sum basis. He plans to keep investing this money till the maturity of both, that's NPS and PPF. Does it count as a good FIRE investment strategy? Vineet, your thoughts?
It's a great retirement planning instrument, NPS. But if you talk about FIRE, which is retire early, see, NPS has a lock-in period till the age of 60. Right? So it assumes that you will retire at 60 only. You cannot withdraw money from an NPS before the age of 60. So for FIRE strategy, it's not the best fit. Whereas a PPF allows you to withdraw after 15 years of inception, right? When you started investing. So PPF is a better option compared to NPS. But since, again, if you don't want lock-in of 15 years also, then a better strategy probably would to invest directly into index funds, right? And grow your corpus there. Since you are investing a substantial amount, you can probably look at dividing into two parts because some amount can come after 60, but you also need a corpus which has to come before, let's say if you want to retire at 40, 45.
Okay, well, we are getting some more queries actually. Himali Mehta has written to us where she asks us, can you please help me with names of schemes, stocks and mutual funds where money can be invested to achieve early retirement? Vineet, you spoke about index funds, but that's on the passive side. On the active side, do you have any recommendations in terms of mutual funds? Where can one put their money?
See, Sonia, since we are talking about retirement and that involves long-term investing, right? I would love to stick with the index funds and ETFs because they have the minimum expense ratio, number one, and you are investing completely into equity because we are replicating the index, which is made up of 50 stocks or 30 stocks, as the case may be. So, it gives you a good return, and it has been empirically proven that it generates a return of around 14 to 15%, which is good enough to create a substantial corpus for your retirement. If you want names within ETFs, you can go for Nippon Index, India Index, S&P, BSC Sensex Fund, or probably DSP Nifty 50 Equal Weighted Index Fund. So these are good index funds, and you can invest them for long term.
All right. And what are the shortfalls of the FIRE method? We spoke about all the pros, right? But I'm sure there are some cons as well. I don't know any of them. I mean, any person you ask would love to retire early, but you tell us.
See, the process is not an easy one, right? Because it involves a frugal lifestyle. And in today's world, with so much of glitter and everyone trying to get everything and everything available at a loan, right? This loan is an extremely enemy of retiring early, because the more loans you take up, the more EMIs you have, right? You cannot save money and you cannot invest money and you cannot grow money, right? So first thing first is you have to say no to all kind of loans, or if you have any loans like education loan or a home loan, you need to wipe it off before you wish to retire. Let's say by the age of 40, you need to have zero loans, right? So that's a very difficult thing to do. It's not easy because times it can take toll on your mental health also. That's an extreme where you go extremely frugal, right? But I would recommend not to go that way. Go the your 40 years retirement can come at 45 also. Life is not changing because of that, but at least maintain a decent lifestyle now as well, so that you have a balanced approach before retirement as well as after retirement. You should be comfortable in both the places. So just increase the years. Rather than 40, let's retire at 45, but live a comfortable life in both the cases. Yeah.
Okay, very helpful actually this episode, because at a time like this when markets are also challenging, when the job situation is tough, where there are layoffs across industries, I guess it always helps to understand these concepts. Whether you want to implement that or not, it's up to your discretion, but hopefully we made a small change. Thanks a lot, Vineet, for joining us and helping us learn another concept on smart money. With that, it's curtains down. In case you have any topics of discussion that you'd like us to get a deep dive into, please write to us. And thanks a lot for watching this episode. Have a great weekend.